Dino, thank you. I appreciate it. I need to get it cut. It's actually cut time. You made it this time. Good timing. I started 1 minute and 40 seconds ago, and we haven't hatched any eggs. You have to bulk the hair before you start the cut because you need for there to be hair to work with, right? Like if you have nothing to work with, what are you going to build on? Right? Think about it. Scar, I'm thanking for the luck. Hey, Scar. What's up? What's up? I've been working on a project car with brother-in-law late into the nights, which is why I missed last two streams. Oh, car project. Are you like refurbing a vehicle or finishing up a vehicle or something? What's that? Hey, son. Egg. 67-63 for Boons. Hey, Boons. Hey, gamer. I watched a little bit of the stream because I just wanted to see how the audio is, and it doesn't sound amazing. It doesn't sound ideal where I want it to be, but not much I can do about it, so it's fine. I don't know what I'm going to do when I record the next video. I guess I have to kind of like cover myself up with a blanket or something because there's still a little bit of echo. And I don't know why the sensitivity on my mic changed. Like I used to have it 5 notches higher and it still was like a bit much. So, hey Cogs, doing all right. Just big chillin'. 35.43 for Scar. I also realized that I haven't been speaking on the phone for a bit. So normally at my job, I talk on the phone a lot, but they have me doing all this stuff that isn't on the phones. So also, I should say, actually, normally most of the year I'm doing trainings. So I'm teaching people, presenting a class. And I haven't been doing that. And I have not been taking phone calls. Now, I haven't been working a lot. I've been getting off work a lot. Like, it's just not very busy. And so they're like, oh, okay, well, if you just want to not work, you can't not work. So I haven't been talking that much outside of stream. And I realized that I am not as articulate as I used to be. It's a momentary thing, right? It's a momentary thing. It's that I haven't been actively talking and practicing talking, you know? But I didn't even realize. I was like listening to the audio and I watched like a segment where I was talking a lot and I said like 40 times. I was like, that's not normally how I speak. Also, I've been very like, I don't know the best way to put it, like not getting going, if that makes sense. Since I haven't been working, I've been just like chilling most of the day and I've been trying to just rest as much as possible outside of stream. And I didn't even stream last week, but meaning I don't have energy. So that's a contributing factor as well. Restoring an old Sebring Vanguard city car mail van. That's a lot of words. That's cool though. Yeah. 15 streak by Scrum Ring. I'm setting up Masuda parents. Gonna lock in on hatching eggs soon. Done with Cerulean Cave for now. No motivation to stay there right now. Understandable. Oh, you said egg too, and I didn't even realize that we did hatch an egg. And now I have 2 eggs. Or, well, I have 2 mimes. And we're only gonna get 1 egg. I'm inefficient. No. I'll send a pic to the Discord. Sounds good. I'll check it out. I'll see what's up. All right, we need to do a full egg cycle, which is going to be about 6 of these. So call that 1, 2, 3. Wait, 4. No, this is only 20 steps. 5. What's up, Tim? You got wrecked by the Elite Four. I'm sorry. Might need to be a few more steps, or we got unlucky. Oh, we hatched another one. No. Wait. Stop. No. Why? Mine. Okay, do you have an egg for me? Let's see. Rah! Setting up Masuda parents. Gonna lock in on hatching eggs soon. Wait, I read that. I'm done. Alright, still need 2 eggs. Gonna join on the egg hunt with my Piplup. Doing a BDSP for a shiny team. Okay. Piplup eggs. He doesn't have an egg ready. We're getting unlucky and I messed up. It's not hurting efficiency like that ridiculously much, but... How can Mr. Mime lay eggs? You know, I think there's most Pokemon... them laying eggs doesn't make sense because they are based on a species which IRL would not lay eggs. They would have internal eggs. So, but every Pokemon lays eggs, so still no freaking egg. Some of the Pokemon are definitely mammals. Yeah. We're hatching eggs and we just can't freaking get any eggs. Like, this timing is terrible. This is gonna stagger a lot of the eggs though, which will be better because it makes this like less likely to happen. He still doesn't have a freaking... Oh my god. I'm gonna have just an empty inventory. How can a humanoid Pokemon lay eggs? Well, humans have eggs, right? It's just that we don't lay them. Like everything that sexually reproduces at this point has eggs, right? So we just, you know, we don't lay them. But I don't think any mammal lays eggs at all. I don't think there's any exceptions either. Still no eggs. And are we down to 1 egg? We're down to 2 eggs. We need 3 eggs. Stat. So we've actually gotten unlucky with egg cycles, or like them getting an egg. It's a 70% chance, and we've missed it probably 2 or 3 times at this point. Very unlucky. In combination with me forgetting to deposit the mimes. The 2 mimes. Doesn't platypus lay eggs? I think you maybe... Yeah, I maybe? There we go. What? Amy says platypi lay eggs. Is it platypus? Wait, is it platypi? Is it platypuses? I don't want to... Platypuses sounds weird to me. What's up? Yeah, they're great socks. You have so many Pokemon socks, Amy. Imagine getting a bad egg. That'd be sus. They're aliens? Yeah. They're kind of like a combination of like multiple different species, and there's like features from like non-mammalian species. There we go. Now we're just... Platypus is crazy. That's what I'm saying, yeah. He uses his psychic ability to conjure eggs. You might be onto something. You were thinking platypus derpy? Yeah. Big egg energy, it worked. I think it worked. 5 stream streak, Spooky. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm just curious about what the what the plural of platypus is. Is it platypi? There we go. Okay, we got 5 egg. All a solid egg cycle apart. We're good now, right? No hatched mines. Yeah, we're good. Oh, don't do that stream. Oh, okay. Stream might have buffered for a second there. Internet went a little goofy mode. Imagine fusing a xenomorph and a Pokemon together. There might be something kind of like that, I guess. A little bit. You could probably find some xenomorph features. Like, I think Gligar has like a tail with a stinger kind of thing, you know? Close enough. What?
They call it blue.
It's 2%. It looks good? Facehuggers from the movie Alien just latch onto your face and inject your throat with their eggs. That's what they do, yeah. And then I guess the eggs, like, incubate in your stomach. Platypodes and platypuses. It is pusses. That's crazy. Platypodes is crazy. I have no points. Yeah, just the channel points. I've been thinking about doing like a daily thing, you know, like where once a day you can like redeem like something and it says how many you've redeemed, you know? And you just do the command and then you just get it. I've seen a lot of people do that. I think it's a good idea. Like Sabian has haunts. So you collect a daily haunts. Like a horse. What's up, Jojo? Shiny Dorito. As far as we don't have a Pokemon of that if we don't already. I don't think there's a platypus Pokemon. Yeah. I don't think there is, interestingly, because like it feels like sometimes they're running out of designs in a way. Because they've redone a lot of animals. And I know those animals are more like ubiquitous. You know, like, oh, there's a lot of monkey Pokemon. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of dog Pokemon. Okay. There's a couple of cat Pokemon. Whoa, crazy, right? Like, I get that. But also, like, sometimes they double up on ones where it's like, we didn't need to do that, you know? We didn't have to do that. I wish I could own a real-life Eevee from Pokemon as a real living animal as a pet. I think a lot of people kind of, like, daydream about that. I didn't want to say fantasize, but that would be the word. But I think a lot of people do. Drito. Yeah, you don't want to say fantasize and Eevee in the same sentence around a Pokemon enjoyer. Around some Pokemon enjoyers, I should say. You know. What's up, Mystery? you mind giving me a shout outs on everyone? IRL friends help me reach 200 subs. Well, I don't think you should ask for subs because what is the point of getting subscribers if they're not subscribing to you with the intention of using the subscription for its intended purpose, which is to view your videos, right? Like, you should get subscribers because you make YouTube videos that people like to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you want to get to 200 subscribers? Just to have 200 subscribers? Just to have them, you know? Like, what's the point? The thing is, too, if you have subscribers and they don't click on your videos, it tanks you in the algorithm, by the way. There are channels that have millions of subscribers, like Healthy Junk Food, for example, has millions of subscribers, but so much of their subscriber base doesn't watch their content because it changed. And what that does is they make content that would appeal to some other people potentially, but because their channel has 3 million subscribers and people just see the Healthy Junk Food in their subfeed and they just scroll past it, they're like, nobody wants to watch this. And so they don't recommend it to other people outside of their subscribers, right? So their videos never get recommended and they get like 2,000 views on a video like every time. It's crazy. On a different account, too? What? Whatever the case. There's no point. There's this one person who streams on YouTube Shorts that does Pokemon. And they have, I think, 200,000 subscribers. And the reason why is that they kind of like bait and farm subscription. So like they say like, subscribe and I'll name the shiny after you. And they don't do that, by the way. That's not true. They're lying. If you subscribe, they will not name a shiny after you. They don't do that. But they put that. And they have 200,000 subscribers. When they post a video, they get like 500 views on it. And part of it is that the people that it's getting recommended to aren't clicking on it. And that's people who are subscribed. And it's tanking it in the algorithm. It's saying, the people who are subscribed to you don't want to watch this video. What makes you think someone who isn't subscribed to you would want to watch this video? So, having dead subs is not good. How about 50 subs? There's no point. You have to have a certain amount of subscribers to stream. I guess that makes sense, but I think you should probably upload videos to get subscribers. You need 10. You need 2? Do you need 10? Or you need 50? Because the 5 is near the T. Bye-bye. Can you ask for subs for channel left? Yeah, some people, I think they just scroll through live and just like ask every single person. They just like try to farm subscribers. Makes sense though, rather have consistent subs than none that are just placeholders. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTube channels that kind of have shifted their content. And it's not even that their new type of content shouldn't be successful. It's that they keep uploading it on a channel where people subscribe for another type of content. And so even if half those people are like, okay, I like these videos, if the other half don't click on the videos, it absolutely tanks you in the algorithm. Should you unsubscribe from channels you don't watch anymore? Honestly, it's probably for the best for those people. Yeah. And honestly, it's for the best for you. And if it's like, oh, but their sub number goes down, and it's like, their sub number should be people who actively want to watch them. That's really what subscribers should be. That's what it was intended to be, right? So having a bunch of dead subscribers, like people who don't use YouTube anymore, or people who just don't click on your videos, there's no point. And it hurts you. People say too, like, oh no, if you have more subscribers, like your videos get recommended to more people. It's not necessarily the case. It's that there's a correlation between having a lot of subscribers and people seeing your video. But I had 100 subscribers when I uploaded my video, and it got 100K, 120K, right? So it's clear you don't need a lot of subscribers to get your video in the algorithm. You have to make good videos. That's what you have to do. So egg. Absolute egg moment. Not shiny. I forgot to grab an egg. Real. So real. It's all about the quality and what engagement you can get from the video. That's how I find you through the problems in the shiny community. True, yep. Yeah, people saw the video, watched it, liked and commented, and YouTube was like, oh, okay, I'll give it to more people. Like, it's pretty much that simple. But when YouTube is recommending the video to people, either in your sub feed or the recommended feed, and nobody's clicking on it, immediately YouTube is like, the substance of your video, while it's important, you're doing something wrong. People don't want to click on the video. So that's a problem. People have to want to click on the video, and they have to want to stay in the video. Hey, mommy. Did you just call me mommy? Wrong chat. This goofy fella. Really? Oh, yeah, sorry. I was just talking to my big titty goth mommy. I'm sorry. I meant to send that to her. I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, that was for my girlfriend. I'm so embarrassed. What's up? That's the Sykkuno. I want to Masuda hunt Mr. Mime now. You need a shiny for competitive. What are we doing with Mr. Mime competitive? Sorry, that was my dentist. I would never call the dentist mommy because I don't like dentists. You know, as people, it's fine, but as a professional, I don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't like them. I went to the dentist when I was a kid. I bit them. I bit their latex glove fingers. I aim to leave more questions than answers with my life story. I feel like that's an approach a lot of people should take. Yeah. doesn't have an egg for me. Give me an egg. Don't do this again. Another egg's about to hatch. I need an egg right now. Yes, thank you. I have no idea. I'd like to try it out since it gets soundproof. It's a goofy goober. It is a goofy goober. Yeah. You could maybe do some, like, I don't know, like some defensive stuff. Maybe like reflect light screen. Does he get fake out? Did he maybe get fake out? I feel like he would get like helping hand, follow me, fake out. Like that feels Mr. Mime coded. Oh, we're fully egged up, right? Yeah, we're fully egged up. But we're about to hatch another one. It's gonna hatch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Egg hatch right now. Gonna hatch any second now. The countdown started. You should hatch right now. It gets fake out. Mr. Rhyme's doing his thing too. That's how I know. It didn't. There was no egg hatch. I was wrong. There we go. Okay, I was just a little off. You ever fart in a jar and call it the smell of popcorn, then hand it to your friends so they open the jar? I think I farted in a Tupperware container once when I was younger, and I put it in the freezer, and then I opened it, and it was an experiment to see if it worked. And it was like properly sealed, but I opened it and there was no fart, you know? I did not bear witness to a fart. Bro doesn't have an egg ready for me. Sub rest? Mime? It was a joke? Yeah, what I said was a joke too. I knew you were joking, and therefore I came up with my own joke. Why freezer? Preserves things better. Mailman pics are in the Discord? Alright, let's check it out. Let's check it out. I never did the go live. What the helly? What is that? That looks like it's from like Back to the Future or something. In the future. Sheesh. Sheesh. That big guy. That would have been confusing to someone if they opened it and smelled a cold fart. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Electric mail vans from the 70s. Interesting. It was electric? Wait, like full electric? Not hybrid? That existed? Do you ever grab a 500-ton boulder, call it a Pokeball, and send your friend a trade request on Pokemon Go, then drop it on his home? That one is very specific, so no. But you change a couple of the parameters, and I would say yes. Interesting. Is it possible that electric vehicles could be like a prevalent thing and we could have come a lot further with the technology and we could have made them a lot more accessible by now, but that kind of technology and like companies that tried to do it and stuff was basically being suppressed by the fossil fuel industry to, you know, continue the pushing of oil? Hazard. I don't know what Hazard is. Charizard? No, I have Blastoise. Big man, I don't have them on me. Big man Blastoise. They were bad back in the day? Oh, they just sucked? Okay. I need a sparkling water. I don't think we're gonna get hatched anytime soon, so I'm just gonna... We're not gonna do a walkaway hatch. I'm just gonna go. Are we fully egged up? We are, okay. Alright. I'll be right back. Sparkly. Hey, what's up, Blake? I'll be right back. Okay. I got that thing on me. I got that thing on me. Spindrift Lemon. The best one. Toxic, light screen. Yeah. I think you could do okay things with it, but let's be realistic. I think in like a VGC or like singles environment, I think there may be some opportunity cost to using Mr. Mime to do those things than using almost any other Pokemon that learns any of these moves whatsoever, to be real. But listen, Soundproof could give it some kind of niche and some kind of meta. We can dream too. Listen, sometimes Pokemon, very unexpected Pokemon, kind of fit a perfect niche and then they're just good in a meta, right? So like if Soundproof like all of a sudden became a very coveted ability, Mr. Mime might be the only Pokemon with Soundproof that learns Fake Out plus Toxic, you know, or something. Hyper Voice. There is some Hyper Voice. People do click Hyper Voice. Sylveon Hyper Voice, Primarina Hyper Voice. Oh, Perish Song. Oh, true, he does avoid Perish Song. Yo, Mr. Mime on a Wolfie Con Perish team? I'm just saying. You know, if Soundproof blocked Heat Wave, I think we might have a meta on our hands with Mr. Mime. Oh, it doesn't. I'm saying if it did. If it did, just because Charizard Y is so meta in Champions. Egg. Yeah, like he'd be good. He'd like actually be worth using, I think. I can see it that man's Batman in Pokemon. I saw a sheer cold Mr. Rhyme team today. Wasn't good, but it was funny. Yeah, Mr. Rhyme maybe you could do some more stuff with. Might be some more possibilities. He's got a little bit more to work with, I think. I'm guessing the sure called Mr. Rhyme thing was what, like skill swap, right? Skill swap Halucha, no guard. Or entrainment, I'm sorry. It's in, he learns entrainment, right? It's not skill swap, it's entrainment. I think it's entrainment. Mega Raichu Y can click roleplay? That's wacky goofy. Wait, is roleplay... Wait, I forget. Is roleplay your Pokemon clicks it and takes the ability? Or the Pokemon clicks it and they take their ability? It copies no guard. Rhyme get... Oh, okay. I've never seen anybody use that move. So I wasn't sure. Yeah, Halucha does the entrainment. And then roleplay is like not... Roleplay is you copy it. Aridos won a tournament recently. I saw that. Yeah, I wonder what's up with that. I have to look into that still. I'm intrigued how... Like, Sticky Web? Like... Is it its signature move? It has like a move that's like Toxic Web or something. I think it like poisons both Pokemon on the other team or something. It's pretty accurate. We're not mimed up, are we? No. Which is worse, a whip or a belt? Huh? You're asking weird questions. Season 1 of Champions, I took a Trick Room Mega Drampa team all the way to Master Ball 3. Pretty good. Even though it's so off-meta. So yeah, sometimes you can make off-meta stuff work because a lot of the time people are either playing, like, meta or anti-meta, but sometimes you just play neither and it ends up working, you know? What regional form would you say is your favorite Pokemon for anyone that has one? History and Zora. Or Zoroark. I was gonna run a run. Sorry, 1 second. I think someone's about to get world record on second round. Fire leaf green. I gotta check. YouTube's hiding it from me. Oh, I think he's about to get record. Oh, he's gonna get PB but not record. Alola Marowak is the one that I love. You know, I do like Alola Marowak a lot. Probably top 3 for me. Oh, egg. Oh no, I have 2 mimes again now! I was distracted. I was sending Amy a post from Reddit complaining about Street Fighter. I need another egg. Another one. Is that like the Michael Jackson song? I don't want to sing because I'm bad at singing. So there we go. Damn, so close. Egg. Mime. Not shiny. Wait, can you give regular Mr. Mime Eviolite? Is it? It doesn't evolve, but it's Galarian form evolves. That work? Probably not. I wouldn't think so, but that would make regular Mr. Mime a little bit spicier. I mean, what is it? What are his defenses? He has 120 special defense and 65 defense. Yeah, on the special side, that'd be a little ridiculous. Because if you EV'd his special defense and then used Eviolite, he would have an effective special defense of like 220 or something. It doesn't work with regular Mime. Oh, sad. 40 HP hurts too. 40 HP, ouch. 90 speed's not bad. 100 special attack's not bad. Yeah, you could use a Sylvest, yeah. You could do like fake out. You have to hope you never get hit by a physical attack ever, though. ever. You could click fake out and then attack move like psychic, coverage move, like mystical fire, energy ball, icy wind. You get like ice beam. No. Why does he get first impression? That doesn't make any sense. You can click Gleam. Ooh, T-Bolt. Shadow Ball. Egg. Not shiny. Hello, Pokemon lover or 0918. What's up? Don't say, do you remember me? You didn't. That's good. I'd like for Delibird to get an evolution. Yeah, I think it should have gotten an evolution by now, or a mega evolution, if we're talking, like, Pokemon that need it. Delibird's bad. Ice Flying, not great. Not a great type. Ice Flying is struggling a little bit. Why am I doubting it's typing? It is Ice Flying, okay. Uh, 29.35 for Skarm. 57.05 for Boons. Offensively, yeah, offensively it's doing some work. Stats, abilities, move pool. Yeah, Hustle's funny. Yeah, very neglected Pokemon. One of the most neglected Pokemon. I mean, it's probably gotten almost no buffs that I've been aware of. And Iron Bundle doesn't count. It's not a buff. That is a different Pokemon that just looks like Delibird. So I've always called it Delibird, but Amy brought up an interesting point. Delivered. I've always heard Delibird, though. I've never heard anybody call it anything but Delibird. And then Amy was like, Delibird. Delibird works in a deli. That's what I was like wondering. I was like, what does it mean? I say red is Delibird. Iron Bundle got better typing on top of being a different Pokemon. Yeah. Yep. What is it? Water Ice? I think. You like the delivered way of saying it? I'll never be able to change that, but like in my brain, like I'll always say Delibird. But delivered. Water Ice? You know, there's also I guess in Michigan they have like a thing that they call water ice. I guess they call it water ice. I remember Matt a long time ago was like, you don't know what water ice is? Mime, egg, not shiny. It's a, often pronounced water ice, is regional variation of Italian ice primarily found in Philadelphia and the Delaware Valley. I guess. Oh wait, he wasn't from Michigan, he was from Pennsylvania. Philadelphia. That's right. Delibird had the greatest revenge arc with Iron Bundle? You mean like Delibird being Iron Bundle and Iron Bundle being broken? Or like Iron Bundle being based off Delibird and then Iron Bundle being broken? Yeah, it was a little too strong. Freeze Dry and Hydro Pump and it being so fast. And then Booster Energy. Little wacky goofy. Mom. People shouldn't think deeply about Pokemon pronunciation. Pronunciation is based on what Pokemon did or look like. We would say Charizard instead of Charizard. Yeah. Well, something to account for too is that also sometimes the localization teams don't have a consensus on how to say it. They just put words together and they're like, okay. Like, there's not necessarily a canon way to say a particular Pokemon's name because unless you're playing the Japanese version, the name has been changed more than likely. Are we good? We're all egged up. Ledian and Ariados. When I was a kid, I said Ariados. They should have gotten buffs in ZA, Megas, new evolutions. There's a lot of Pokemon that have fallen very far behind and would be very difficult to make competitively viable. Ledian's a cool Pokemon. I agree. And also just incredibly mediocre. Incredibly bad, actually. Very little going for it. Very little to make it work. Like, yeah, there's like, you'll see some niche Pokemon every once in a while, like, be good. But there are some Pokemon that, like, may not have their day. They might not have their day. You know? That even when it came out, yeah. It wasn't even good for, like, your playthrough. Egg. Not shiny. The canon way is how they say it in the anime. The problem is that in the anime, in multiple cases, they've at least in like I'm not sure if you're saying it like in the Japanese versions, like that's the canon way, or if you're saying that when it's localized to English and then they choose how to say it in the anime, that's how you say it. However, the problem with that is that on multiple occasions, they have said different like ways of pronouncing different Pokemon names. Like they've said both Arceus and Arceus. So, are both canon? You know? And like sometimes the voice actors will just like say a name wrong and they're just like, okay, whatever. But I would tend to say most Pokemon names I think are pretty obvious in how you pronounce them, but it's just more for those niche ones. You say like with Arc, yeah, and I say Arce. Wait. Yeah, I just always said Arceus. I don't know, I heard someone say it when Gen 4 came out, talking about Arceus, and I was just like, okay, Arceus. Yeah. Yeah, tomato, yeah. So I think like the thing is that if you can like trace something to like its originator, then you can be like, hey, you decide what the canon is, right? So like for example, the person who like writes One Piece, he gets to decide everything. Like if all of a sudden Luffy like explodes and then the anime is focused on another character, like he gets to decide that, and that is then canon, right? In fictional events, the canon is whatever the person who gets to decide it says it is, right? And so with Pokemon, it's like the only way to get true canon would be the person who designed the Pokemon and named it, whoever named it, to ask what their original intention for the pronunciation of that Pokemon is. And then when you bring in localization, it's like, is there any ever real canon at that point anyways? The house you bike to with the purple roof is Lorelei's house. You know, I accidentally ran against the sign and I saw that and I was like, huh. Does that mean this is Lorelei's daughter next to the house? Maybe? Maybe daughter? Yeah. She referred to her as Lorelei, not mom. But also, like, for dialogue reasons, it wouldn't make as much sense to say mom might confuse players, so. The arse phone. Yeah, like who knows? Like with Charizard, like maybe the localization team when they were localizing Pokemon for a U.S. release, when they made the name Charizard, they might have been like, "Oh, it's Charizard," and then people just started saying Charizard, and they were just like, "Okay, we'll go with it." You say it ours too, yeah. I found it's like 70-30. Like I think a majority of people say Arceus, but there's a decent amount of Arceus. There's a decent amount of Arce truthers. Charizard. If you, yeah, I mean, people have said it so much. I guess people like Charizard. You know, like a lot of people say, most people say Rayquaza, right? And people have logicked their way to being like, it should be Quasar because Quasar. But like, I don't know. What did they say in the anime? Do they say Rayquaza? Rayquaza sounds way better to me, and it's what, as a kid, I saw the name, didn't hear anybody say it, and I was like, that's Rayquaza. Obviously. But, who knows? Is there really a correct way to say it? There's definitely an incorrect way to say it. Quaza is wrong, you say? Arceus is wrong. What's your evidence for it being wrong? The Arceus. The Rayquaza, I would tend to say, like, I think that's how it would make sense to say it, but I don't want to say for sure. Archaic, meaning ancient. Deuce, Latin for God. Yeah, but Charizard is like Char and Lizard, but you don't say Charizard. So I think that doesn't... We can't use that as like a rule. And then Archaic also has an H in it. Arceus doesn't. Kind of a crucial part of it. Arceus. Every 25 times you beat the E4 rematch, you get a new stuffed animal in Lorelai's house. 25 times you have to beat the rematch. 200 stuffed animals. Hello? Use the word deuce for its second half? Yeah, that's what Twitch chat was saying. Yeah, how was you know, what do we have to go off of to say that it's definitely Arceus or Arceus? They've said it both way in the anime. So Arceus? Arceus? What do you mean correct? Who decides what's correct? Well, the Pokemon Company has come out and said that it's Pokemon. So, yes. Has the Pokemon Company come out and said this is how you're specifically supposed to say Arceus? I've never heard anybody say it's Arceus, by the way. That's a new one. Arceus is the one I hear. Like Arceus. Right way is whatever a child thinks is right when they see the name for the first time. Yes. No more confusion. Well, how's there confusion if there's no right way to say it? Who decided the right way to say it? Did Masuda say, hey, listen, when I originally designed this Pokemon, and then its name got translated from Japanese to English, I thought it should be said this way. Like, who gets to decide what's right and wrong in this scenario? Right? You should pronounce Pokemon names the way that gets people to comment on your video for the algorithm. That's right, yeah. You should rage bait people. The right way is clearly Arceus. No contest, no explanation needed. No, you have to explain. You can't just say I'm right and then not explain. You have to explain. Say Gruden? That's Jimothy's thing. I do love the movie Arceus and the Jewel of Life. Is that what one of them's called? I haven't heard of that. Cherubi instead of Cherubi. I've heard some wacky ones. Articuno. That one always sticks in my head. Blastoise. Damn, the Blastoise sounding real good right now. That's a real movie? Okay. I just never heard the name before. Venusaur. Decadui. Dialga. Is it Dialga or a Dialga? Or Dialga? Or Dialga. You know, I think that comparison, yes, like Dial, maybe they were thinking of that, but I think it's more likely that they were talking about Diamond. I think that's more what they were thinking of, probably. I think that, if anything, I think they realized in post that it's like a dial, like a sundial for time. But he was the Diamond Pokemon in Pokemon Diamond, so... What if it's both? They intentionally did this to make people... It could have been both. Easily could have been both. I heard someone say Cheshire, like the cat. With only having read the word before, they said like Cheshire. They had some 40 chests, yeah. I mean, there could have even been, like, they made the name, and then there could have even been internal, like, conversations of, like, this is how you say it. No, this is how you say it. You know? Like, internally, they could have localized it and been like, oh, it's Persian. It's obviously Persian. Why would it be Persian? It's Persian. Come on. Make names ambiguous. And never like officially tell people how to say names. Never like be like 100% this is the de facto way you absolutely say it. Just like say it in like the like media for it, but like don't always say it the same way. Ariados? That's what I say. I say Ariados. This exact argument's probably happened millions of times. It's probably a pretty popular conversation in the Pokemon community. I think part of it is that so many people play the games when they're younger, see Pokemon names, don't know how to say them, and figure out a way to say them. Like, Amy thought that Machop was Machop. Still does. She still does. To this day. Alright, I need a Sparkly. I'm not sure if we're going to hatch an egg soon. I don't think May is very intuitive either without a Y. Like math, market, Mac, Majestic. Like, I could see Machop, Machomp, but Maychomp. Wait, Maychomp. Maychop. You get the idea. What if you're supposed to say Goldeen, like a drawn out second half of the word golden? Golden. Sus. Lapras? Yeah, I always said Lapras. Did people say Lapras? An egg hatched and I forgot to get my sparkler. Okay, I got a P2 anyway, so let's just know. I'm not gonna bother waiting for an egg. I don't know how long it'll take. How do they want us saying seal? That's a great question. I think it's ale. Saale. Mr. Mime. Mr. Mimi? Mr. Mime. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Mr. Mime. Kangaskhan? Silent K? Silent KH? Kangaskhan. This is the way. You know, who says we have to say, like, abbreviations? Like, in Mr. Mime, it's like Mermame. Mermame. It's almost mermaid. Mermame. Rigged it. Okay. Merman. Torchic? Torchic? That would make sense. $32.34 for Amy. I'd rather be a pronunciation elitist than a full odds elitist. I agree. I'm with that. I think with pronunciations, I don't think there's like a ultimate, a lot of the time or most of the time, I don't think there's an ultimate like thing to fall back on, because true canon doesn't really exist in localized Pokemon. That was my whole point that I was saying earlier, is that there's no way to really know. Like, the best thing you could do is ask the person who created the name, or the team that created the name, what was your intention for this name? But it wasn't even the Pokemon's original name a lot of the time, or if it was the same name that came from Japan, it's probably pronounced differently. And so like, that's the best that you could get, and even then we just don't really have that or have access to that. So the best we have is, hey, how do they usually say it in the anime? That's like the best that we have to go off of. And then the next thing, if we haven't heard it in the anime or a lot, or the anime is inconsistent, the next best thing we can do is use logic based on the words that created the name. That's the best thing we can do. But even then, that's not necessarily reliable. I will keep gatekeeping the PK Hexers. I don't think there's anything really to gatekeep unless they lie, you know? I mean, what is there to gatekeep? I think the only thing to really gatekeep is deception. And then even then, it's not really gatekeeping. It's more like, hey, it's weird to lie. Yeah. Gatekeep being a Pokemon fan. You know, I replied to somebody left a comment on the video a while ago, and I think that oftentimes the modern way that gatekeeping is used is kind of different than what it's like by the book definition might be. Because the by the book definition is more like just telling someone that they're not a part of something in a way, or telling someone that they're not, you know, it's kind of barring someone from something. But the thing is that there could be, under that definition, there can be very good, healthy gatekeeping. But I think when people say gatekeeping, they almost always mean people doing so in an unnecessarily like negative, arbitrary, ridiculous way, right? So for example, if someone was like, oh, I love Nirvana, right? And I'm the biggest Nirvana fan in the world. I listen to every single album. I know every single lyric. I've listened to every single project that every single member of Nirvana has done after. So I think Dave Grohl was like their guitarist or their drummer or something like that. And now he does, and then he's like Foo Fighters or whatever. I've listened to all that too. Like everything associated with them, I've listened to. And then someone comes in and they're like, they've listened to 2 of Nirvana's albums, and they know all the lyrics, and I'm like, well, you're not a real fan of Nirvana, right? So I'm setting a really ridiculously high standard. I'm arbitrarily, irrationally creating a standard for what being a fan of Nirvana is, in an unreasonable way, right? And that's what people are talking about when they say gatekeeping most of the time nowadays. They're not talking about someone being like, I love anime, and it's like, what animes have you watched? I've never seen anime. Oh, well, then you probably aren't really a fan of anime. That's not gatekeeping by the modern, like definition, the way that people use it, at least in the context that people use it. That's just setting reasonable boundaries to me, you know? It doesn't really fit the gatekeeping definition of today. Not letting people be a Pokemon fan unless one random person thinks you should be allowed to be one. Perfect example of petty pointless gatekeeping. You're not a real fan unless I personally allow you to be one. Yeah, basically. and just setting like unreasonable standards, right? So like what would a reasonable person say a fan of Nirvana is? Well, they've probably listened to a few of their albums and they enjoy their music. That's enough. That's enough for most people, right? To be a fan. So what we're gatekeeping specifically is the term fan here, right? And fan relative to Nirvana, right? But then if someone said I'm their biggest fan, then someone could then step up their game, right? Then they could be like, okay, yes, you aren't their biggest fan because I've done this and this and this and this and this. I'm clearly a bigger fan. That wouldn't be gatekeeping either because of the terminology that is being attempted to gatekeep, if that makes sense. Why did someone say you were gatekeeping multi-hundreds from full odds? Multiple people said that, and I addressed that point specifically in the video because I knew people would say that. And I explained like, hey, this isn't really gatekeeping. I'm just setting reasonable boundaries based on the logic that the community has come up with, right? So like, I didn't decide that speed up isn't full odds. You guys did. I didn't decide that multiple independent rolls from a shiny charm isn't full odds. You guys did. I didn't decide horde hunting isn't full odds. You guys did. I didn't decide any of these things. This is the collective agreement of a community. You guys created these rules, and now I'm going to enforce these rules on you. That's what I was saying. Hey, here's your logic. I'm using your logic against you, right? But Zero always gatekeeping deception. To be a real Pokemon fan, you need to be a VGC World Champion, Chronic Shiny Hunter with dozens of full-out shinies found, beat every Pokemon game at least twice, and know every bit of trivia. Yeah, like that. Now, if you wanted to be the biggest Pokemon fan, I would say some of those things would apply, but the VGC World Champion, I wouldn't apply, but, right? Like, so it wouldn't be me gatekeeping if someone said, I'm the biggest Pokemon fan, and I said, I don't think you're the biggest fan. You've played 2 of the games, right? Like, that would be a reasonable moment of, like, not really gatekeeping by modern standards, at least. And like the gatekeeping that I see where people do it is where people go online and they're like, oh, I really like anime, and people will be like, you don't really like anime, you haven't watched enough. You know, it's like arbitrary. Like, they didn't say they're the biggest fan, they didn't say they're a bigger fan than you, they didn't do anything. They just said they like anime, and then people come in and they're like, now I gotta keep them out, I gotta keep these tourists out, they're gonna ruin my hobby. You know, being a Pokemon fan in any capacity is exhausting. It's true. And it's like, if we're going to apply the standard of like setting boundaries is gatekeeping, then it's like everything is gatekeeping all the time. You know, like if you're like, oh, like beating Dark Souls is where you play through the game however you want, and then the credits roll. And then someone's like that's gatekeeping. You know, oh, I didn't beat the game because I didn't make it to the final boss, because I didn't get the credits. I turned my game off before the credits. Does that mean I didn't like? And it's like, that's not really gatekeeping at that point, right? Not in the way that you think of. That's just like setting reasonable boundaries. That's like just having a definition for something, right? And it's like, if me saying, hey, based on the definition, I just don't think this fits into full odds. If that is gatekeeping, then also just saying, hey, if you have a shiny charm that doesn't fit into full odds, that's also gatekeeping, right? And saying like, oh, like, I don't know, I can't think of another good example, but you get the idea. Those are the best examples possible. Loophole. What? How much anime does one need to watch? Can I skip out on the VGC battles? Yeah, like that where the bar is set, I think is just like what a reasonable person would say. Like what if you got like a group of people together to arbitrate, like what would they say a reasonable bar is for that specific term? And I think that bar would be a lot lower than what people who are called gatekeepers would say where that bar is, if that makes sense. So like, it's gatekeeping when you are setting an unreasonably high bar for something that most people wouldn't agree with. Oh, you're not a real fan of Nirvana unless you have Kurt Cobain's autograph. You know, like that's a weird specific standard. Like that's gatekeeping, right? Saying you have to have listened to one Nirvana song, I think people would find more reasonable as a standard for being a fan of Nirvana. I don't know what being criteria biggest fan would be. There's so much Pokemon media, many ways to be a fan. Yeah, I would say the biggest fan would probably need to like consume all forms of Pokemon media to the maximum extent, more than anybody else has. I would say that's the bar where I would draw. But like, there may be some people who are kind of close, but nobody who's maxed out. But somebody has to be the biggest fan. And so if we wanted to be objective about it, we could be like, okay, show me your resume of like how much Pokemon content you've consumed and how much of your life you've dedicated to it to be Pokemon's biggest fan. Funnily enough, I'd actually be very low on the list. I played Pokemon when I was a kid, and then I didn't touch Pokemon again until I was an adult. I entirely skipped like 5 generations, basically. Oh, whoops. Biggest fan weight-wise might be an easier goal to strive for. Like, actually, yeah. You can get the Pokemon brand Twinkies, you know, or the Pokemon themed Twinkies. Just eat so many of those. Pokemon's biggest fan who became the biggest fan by only consuming Pokemon-related food. 2026, you need a resume to show your qualifications to be a Pokemon fan. Yeah. I'll say as a multi-hunter with charm on all of them, I won't tear anybody down on how they choose to hunt. You better not, because you're taking shortcuts. No. That's what people would say, though. You have to apply. I think like most of the Pokemon community is actually very good about that kind of stuff. Like, I think generally people tend to be nicer than the average person if they are interested in Pokemon and actively dedicate some of their time to Pokemon stuff. I think there is a tendency for it to be nicer people, right? The Pokemon community overall. And it's like that in pretty much every Pokemon sub-community as well, for the most part. I think competitive singles historically is probably the most off-putting, least welcoming, at least back in the day. I remember being on Smogon and people being very mean, very rude, very shitty, very elitist, very egotistical. Like, it was really bad back in the day. I think it's probably a lot better now from what I can tell. But yeah, back in the day, it was really bad. That's probably the worst sub-community Pokemon's ever had, is like classic singles. But like I said, things are probably a lot better now. And the thing too, and I wanted to talk about this in the video, but it's like there's so much to cover and I just didn't want to go on and on. I think that the people who multi-hunt in every way other than the way that they look at shiny hunting, full odds method, all that stuff, outside of those opinions, they're generally some of the nicer people within Pokemon, right? And the thing is that the whole source of the elitism and the full odds versus multi, everything, all that stuff, method, all that stuff, all of it comes down to people's egos. And people don't really have as much of an ego about everything else. They just have an ego about the thing that they spend hundreds of hours doing. That's the reality. And so I think people maybe think if one aspect of a community is bad, then the rest of it has to be bad. I just think that generally people have really bad opinions on how statistics, odds, everything like that work. And that was the point of the video. There's this one weird ass way that people look at things and everything else is fine, right? So I would generally say that like the multi community in general, full odds community isn't really that bad with anything except for the how you hunt stuff. I think my multi-hunting analogy was fire. What? The poophole loophole? Is there another one? If you say you have any knowledge, I'm fine. I'll talk about Pokemon all day. Flip or something to newer players. Yeah. I think generally the Pokemon community is like on the better side when it comes to fandoms about stuff. Like there's some weird aspects to it, like the scalping and the money and the hardware elitism and the full odds stuff if you're part of that community. It's like a 1-for-1 comparison. Huh. Let me think on that. Like it actually is. It's like I'm not touching you. You know. It's like that kind of logic. Yeah, I just think I think if you're willing to do multi, you should absolutely be willing to do like method and look at it like not differently at all. You should look at it almost identically. I get like seeing all the roles on multiple screens might be appealing for some people, but ultimately the end result is the thing that makes sense to be interested in, you know. So this like, oh, I'll play on 5 consoles, but I would never use a shiny charm. Like that's just like insane logic to me. That's just so wacky goofy. It's funny actually. Professor Rex is getting gatekept by multi-hunters for playing too many consoles right now, by the way. Go on Reddit, and I'm not sure, I think it was a shiny, he sent me the link, but he posted a thread like, hey, here's my giant setup. He has 58 GameCubes and Wii's. And he's playing Fire Red Leaf Green, doing Safari Zone, going for like a really ridiculously rare level 25 shiny Golduck, which is like a 1 in 9 million or something. And there's people in that thread like, you're ruining the hobby by playing too many consoles. You're sucking the fun out of it by playing too many consoles. You're defeating the point by playing too many consoles. Like he's actively getting gatekept for playing too many consoles. If you're playing modern games with charm, speeding up fast. That's crazy, yeah. Does he claim he gets full? No, Rex is pretty much on the same page as me with everything. He thinks that multi is a method and therefore it is not full odds. And he thinks also he's doing not full odds because he's using a Pokeblock trick that makes his odds 1 in like 7,600 instead of 8,192. So he's slightly improving his odds, but it's not 1 in 8,192, so it's not full odds. So even if he was playing one game, he says he's not doing full odds, even if he was playing one game. But yeah. No, he's on board with the general premise of the video. Is Professor Rex the guy who spoke out against the regional game loss situation too? Yeah. That's Rex. That's right. Hey, what's up, Bernesh? Yeah, that's Rex. He basically said like, hey, this game loss was weird. Here's why. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that directly from Rex when he was streaming. I hadn't heard about it prior to that, but he was talking about how Pokemon was like officially partnering with certain people and they were rejecting people, and then multiple people were breaking their rules on being like a partner of theirs, and other people were not getting that opportunity while people who were blatantly breaking all of their rules were. He called them out and people got mad because it's like, oh, he's just doing his own thing. Yeah. Yeah, we stand Rex. Got an invite to Worlds where he runs those shiny trade bots? Yeah, no idea, because they normally are so like against that kind of thing and so strict about that kind of thing. It almost feels like there's something going on that we don't understand, like some kind of bias or some kind of conflict of interest. People can't have anything, I swear. At least he's honest about how he gets them in that sense. Well, I mean, he's streaming it too, so definitely very honest. You could go find his stream. It's Professor's Lab. Just Professor, plural with a B instead of a P, lab. And then he has 58 screens on his screen, so. Maybe there's a discussion behind the scenes. Yeah, I honestly, my best guess, and I don't know that much about the situation, but just like purely from an outsider perspective, this person does multiple things that break their rules that Game Freak and Nintendo hate. They hate hacking. They hate all that kind of stuff in that realm. They hate bots. They don't like any of that stuff. They take people's channels down all the time for hacking content and stuff like that, right? And then this person gets special treatment, gets to be a partner with them, is a very large content creator, is very obvious to them, and then doesn't get rejected. To me, that very clearly spells out that whoever is involved in choosing people and choosing whether to get rid of people as a partner likely knows this person and has a relationship with this person. That's the only reason. That's like Occam's razor, the most obvious answer. Have you ever interacted with Poseidon? I saw somebody say they had a bad experience with him and bummed me out. I like his videos a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would take that with a grain of salt because they didn't post a clip or anything like that. With that said, it certainly could be true. And I think the most common form of like, generally the most common form of elitism is hardware compared to emulator. I think that's more common than anything else. People come into the stream all the time. Like, is this on original hardware? Is this? And it's like, I just don't even get why people care. Like, I get why they care, but also they think it's dumb that they care. And the fact that people have to ask is really funny because it's like, why do you care so much if you can't tell? If you can't tell whether I'm playing on hardware or emulator, why are you so concerned about it? If I'm having the same exact experience as someone else, if I'm playing the same exact game under the same exact conditions, other than my buttons are a little bit different, why do we care so much? But people do. So I wasn't surprised to hear that because I think it's the most acceptable form of elitism, even if it takes place passively. Like, people will be like, I just really like hardware and like, I don't want to watch anything involving emulator. And sometimes people will play the card of like you had to have obtained the ROM illegally or something like that. And they're like, piracy is bad. You know, they try to play that card. Good luck having that conversation with most people. Most people do not feel that way. About, you know, one person versus giant company. Welcome back. This time it was meant for me. Nice. Those copies of Heart Gold Soul Silver go for crazy prices nowadays. If I didn't sell my childhood copies, I'd be heartbroken. Yeah, absolutely. Heartbroken and soul broken. So I kept all my old Pokemon games, right? It's crazy, like 300 USD. I've seen some without the box set at that price. Yeah. Pretty wild. And then Black and White 2 have been getting really expensive because everyone's realizing how good the games are. I'd say more realistically for like a loose cart, like probably, I don't know, 150, but it could have gone up a little bit, maybe 200. Sometimes listings are like not where they should be. But if you go to recently sold, like, let's go look right now. Go look on eBay. You got to go to recently sold. And you have to, Let's see. Here we go. I don't want to sign in. eBay's forcing sign in. eBay's forcing sign in to do advanced searches. Yeah, all right. Never going there again. Bye, eBay. If you ever try to force someone to sign in to use a basic feature of your site, I'm immediately not using your site ever again. Like with Twitter, Twitter wouldn't let you look at replies, and Twitter wouldn't let you see recent tweets by people unless you were signed in. What are we doing? What's going on? Yeah, Amy knows. From what I was seeing, I think like, yeah, probably like 150 to 200, probably realistic on what you'll get. Got a good deal on a copy of Fire Red. Games from 20 years ago are being sold for the same price as new games. Yeah, in almost every instance, significantly more. But yeah. Part of that is that, like, I'm sure the Fire Red Leaf Green cart prices went down when they released them on Switch, right? They could do that with the whole catalog. And I know on Switch 2, like, how do you do DS? They can figure it out. I'm sure there's lots of ways, you know. I'm not the giant billion-dollar company, okay? But I'm sure they can figure some shit out to make it work. But yeah, they could have released Ruby, Sapphire. They could have released Emerald. They could have released Fire Red Leaf Green a long time ago. They could have released Gold, Silver. Crystal was on Virtual Console or whatever. Like, I don't think it was available on Switch, though. You had to play it on, like, 3DS Virtual Console or something. So, like, they could make that available. They choose not to make these games available, though, because they think that if they give you older games to play, that you won't buy their newer games. That's what they think. That's just a fact. I play emulator and OG hardware. Egg, by the way, not shiny. They fill different niches for me. Challenge runs on emulator. Don't come back to saves once I beat them. DS for nostalgia. Makes sense. What difference is there in me pirating and me buying secondhand? Either way, the creator gets $0. Yeah, it's just a really bad logic when people are like, oh, you're stealing from them. And it's like, even if you were stealing from Nintendo, I think most people don't give a shit. To be real. Logged in eBay, I'll look. Prices I'm seeing range from 100 to 150. Not checking hardware, they're authentic. Yeah, I think some of those might not be selling because it's repros and they're pricing them higher because they're hoping people just assume that it's authentic because the price is higher. I think that's why those exist, so. That's my best guess, at least. Could be wrong. Egg. It's kind of like how a lot of people, the way they shop at the grocery store is if they have more money, they look at prices and they go, oh, okay, well, if something's more expensive, it must be like a better quality product. And they just buy the more expensive thing every single time. And there are products that are definitely worse that are more expensive, or are the same product as another product but are more expensive. I will say some people have been like, oh, generic cereal is always the same as like the name brand. No, it's not, by the way. No, it's not. I've gotten burned so many times on generic cereal, on off-brand cereal, okay? But I have an authentic copy of Emerald and Fire Red. I would be too. 150 is crazy though. Really hope those DS games get adapted for and released on Switch. Yeah, hopefully soon, but it doesn't seem like they have a lot of incentive to do that anytime soon. Not a ton of interaction with the bottom screen, so in theory it should be doable. I think you could also just like put a cursor bottom screen thing, like have a button that makes the bottom screen pop up, and then you have a cursor that you move with like the D-pad or whatever, or the joystick. Like there's a ton of very easy solutions to fix the bottom screen for some games. My mom doesn't like frosted mini wheats unless it's the name brand. Yeah, the generic will very often have a lot of flaws. Like generic frosted flakes I've gotten on multiple occasions, and they were overcooked. They were like burned, and too crunchy. The texture was off, and it's just like. It depends on the off-brand. There's a ton of different off-brands depending on the grocery store that you go to and stuff like that. The generic Captain Crunch tears your mouth like 2 times as hard as regular. Yeah, that's specifically happened to me. I got the Crunch Berries one. It'll mess up the ceiling of your mouth even worse. Yeah, there's lots of different like off brands based on locality, grocery store, stuff like that. So it can really depend. I'm really big about flavor texture differences. Well, they very easily could be the same, right? It's not to say there's never an off brand that is a similar product. There certainly can be. It's just not a given. Like people say like, oh, just always buy the generic because it's always the same thing. It's just not. It's not. Favorite cherry cola is RC Cherry, ever so slightly more obscure than Coke and Pepsi. Yeah. I don't think I've had that. I'd have to try it and see. I'm kind of a soda hater nowadays, though. Too sweet. Egg. This is the shiny. Not shiny. What does the RC stand for? Really, cola? Cola? Ray Charles cola? Royal Cola Cola. An English brand. Interesting. Royal Crown Cola. That makes sense. If it came from UK. Close enough. Oh, does it say it on the can? I wouldn't even thought. I thought it would just say RC. I'm really excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm not like a Marvel like fanatic, but I think that the Spider-Man movies are just really good. And I thought No Way Home especially is my favorite Marvel movie for sure. I think it's the best Marvel movie. And I think Infinity War was okay, and Endgame wasn't as good as people say. Which are the only competition I think for No Way Home. Trash. We already had this conversation. We're not going through it again. Excited for Brand New Day 2. Spider-Man's favorite superhero. Trailers look pretty promising. Yeah, and then I've been watching Punisher lately. I'm on season 2 right now, halfway through season 2, approximately. So it's okay. I gotta say, I don't empathize with Frank Castle at all. Like he's like the opposite of my personality. Like the whole like, you know, like I'm gritty and like, you know, hyper masculine and like I like whiskey and women and guns and explosions and you know that whole like traditional masculinity thing. It just doesn't work. But it's a good show though. I just wouldn't be that good of friends with Frank Castle. Like I just wouldn't. We wouldn't get along that well. Dr. Pepper is its own brand, not specifically a Coca-Cola product. It's the reason why it seems to be a Coke product. 2010, Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper Group signed a deal. Interesting. So they're still technically separate? I figured it was owned by PepsiCo or Coke. Oh yeah, Spider-Verse 3. We still haven't watched the second one. We still have to watch the second one. Just a 20-year-long contract. Interesting. "2030 Dr. Pepper will potentially become independent again." It'd be funny if Dr. Pepper became the most popular soda and then bought Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. Oh no, Dr. Pepper bought Nestle. No. They're shutting down all their operations. No, stop. Nestle's too cute. Haha. Cross, one of my favorite movies ever. Hope we get around to watching it soon. Yeah, it's on the list. We just have so much stuff to watch. Chalky Milk. Chalky Milk, number one beverage? Is that what you're saying? Egg, not shiny. All right, gamers, we're gonna go last egg mode. Okay. Last egg. How many eggs have I had so far? Like 150. Toby is with Ice Spice? Like, Tobey Maguire is dating Ice Spice? That'd be weird. I feel like that's not what you're saying. 150 fake fans need to be a couple thousand more. That's gonna be a bit. They were pictured kissing. Tobey Maguire and Ice Spice? He's like 50. He's like 50. Isn't she like 25? Wait a minute. Tobey Maguire and Ice Spice sparked brief dating rumors after photos circulated them together at Michael Rubin's 2026 White House party in the Hamptons. Images showed the pair looking intimate on the balcony, speculation growing that they were kissing. Representative for Ice Spice clarified to The Breakfast Club that the photos were deceiving. The two were simply talking and sharing a vape. She's 26. I said 25. She's 26, by the way. How old's Tobey Maguire? He's 51. I said 50. I was within one for both. I'm cracked. I'm actually cracked. It should have been you. I suppose it looks good. She looks good. Yeah. She looks good. I saw your face flash with so many potential rows. I was just thinking, like, I had to like check if I thought she was attractive because I hadn't thought about it. You know, we'll raid Joanna. Joanna's always so nice. And I appreciate that. We need one more egg, though. I got work to do. I'll head out for now. Good timing. I'm ending. We'll see you around, gamer. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not gonna say fully bye yet to everybody because we needed another egg. Please. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're fully mimed up. We're fully egged up. It could be the shiny. It could be the shiny. This last egg could be shiny. I'm just saying. Forgot how long it takes to hatch eggs in these games. Yeah, this is Mr. Mime eggs too, and they're pretty high up there on how many steps they take compared to most Pokemon. Let's say taking the most steps possible. I'm saying, like, I feel like we should have gotten a hatch by now, which we will in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm embarrassing myself. It's got to work eventually, right? Oh, I missed that. Before he was with Ice Spice, he was with an 18-year-old. That's still sus, yeah. He's gross. Sure. Just like, it sounds like maybe he wasn't with Ice Spice, but if we have clear, established patterns of behavior, then yes. His acting wasn't very good in No Way Home, by the way. It was, like, not good. And I don't know why they kept some of those takes in, because there was, like, times where he paused for, like, 3 seconds in between lines, and it didn't really add anything. It just, like, almost seemed like an outtake. And I was like, they must have, I think what must have happened is they couldn't have him on set for very long. Like, he was like, I will do, like, 3 days of shooting or something, you know. And they were just, like, had to make it work. They're holding Everstones in there? I guess so. I didn't think this last egg would take that long. I should have just ended. I should have just ended. I'm not going to do that to you guys, though. I'm going to get this last egg hatched. Just for you, chat. Be sick if this was a shiny though. Egg. Gamers, thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate everybody chatting, chilling, lurking. Have you ever got a shiny on the last encounter before? I think Aaron, we were about to end stream. Yeah, I was like pretty much that was probably gonna be last encounter. I might have done like 1 or 2 more, but pretty much last one. Aaron, yes. Gamers, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for chat. What happened to the raid? Huh? Did I do something wrong? Oh, Joanna has raids turned off. Oh. No raids? Can't raid? I must not have enough people. I think you can't raid if you don't have a certain amount of people. Yeah, we got get kept by Joanna. Chloe. Gamers. Thank you for being here. We'll be back tomorrow, probably, for more eggs, more MIME egg week. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. You guys have a good night. I'll see you next time. Later, gamers. Bye-bye.
I was actually just about to end, to be honest with you, but I'll go for a little bit longer. But I'm having a good time. Oh, my game's finally turned to nighttime. No! All good. Wretched, hello! Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Chloe, or YCat.